I'm Margot Austin.
And I'm Mackenzie Rossero. We're here with Miami Television News. Today we are very excited to welcome Rainn Wilson here with us to the studio. We are very excited to have you, and I think I'm speaking for all of the Red Hawks here when we say we're just absolutely thrilled that we're going to get to talk to you today.
Wow, the Red Hawks. Is that what?
Red Hawks.
Yeah, that's good. Is there like a handshake I should know, like Hook 'em Hawks or something like that, or Go Hawks, or we should invent. You don't have one?
Let's come up with one.
You know, hawk this. Ah, ah. How's that?
I think
like that.
I think we're
That
going to have to
works.
incorporate
Hawk
that.
this.
That's how we can end all of our shows from now on.
Yeah.
I think that's a great closing.
I love it. I love it. All right. So many of us here know you as Dwight from The Office. However, since the Office finale in 2013, you have been very busy with a lot of projects, one of which is SoulPancake. So can you talk to us a little bit about the inspiration for SoulPancake and why you created it?
No. Yes, of course, I would be happy to. So, SoulPancake actually started before The Office ended. When the show started to take off, let's say 2006, 2007, I saw, I'm going to have a job for a long time. I'm going to have an income for a long time, which is pretty rare as an actor. So I wanted, with some friends who were working in the web, I wanted to do something really positive and interesting and new and unique on the internet. So that's when we consulted a great deal, and we came to this idea of exploring life's big questions, that we wanted to create a website that was about bringing people together and having kind of deep, meaningful conversations about life's biggest topics, what it means to be a human being. So that's philosophy, it's spirituality, it's the arts, it's the sciences, it's psychology. So that's how it started, and then it segued more into a media company when we realized that we were a lot better at making videos than we were at trying to build web technology and like an interactive web presence. So that shifted around 2009 or so, 2010. No, a little later than that, 2011 or 12, when we started shifting and doing more video. And we're a mission-driven company trying to make the world a better place through media.
Cool. Thank you.
So, mentioning your goal to make the world a better place, first off, congratulations on SoulPancake's birthday of 10 years.
Thank you.
But kind of looking back on the past decade and everything you've accomplished, what is one thing that beyond that like larger goal of just making the world a better place, what are some of those little things along the way that you're still striving to accomplish for SoulPancake?
Well, there's been a number of amazing accomplishments. I would say one of them is we've been able to take a lot of aspiring filmmakers and content creators and believe in them and help them, give them a leg up, give them a start, some funding to start storytelling. So we've taken a lot of people who've had just a lot of capacity and a lot of potential as a storyteller, and we've been able to promote them and lift them up. That's been very personally satisfying for me. But one of our best shows, one of my favorite shows, is called My Last Days, and it's about what lessons we can learn about life from people at the end of their life, people facing death. And there was some of the social impact we've been able to do from that show and other shows has been really gratifying. There was a young guy named Zach Sobiek who was also a songwriter from Minnesota, and we did his story, a My Last Days story, which was a big viral hit, had 10 million views, and it was a beautiful story. And when he passed away, one of his last things he was able to do was to record a version of one of his songs, and we did a celebrity promotional video of people singing his song, and then it came out on iTunes back when iTunes was something, and it was greatly promoted, and we worked with Rock the Cause and raised $900,000 from his song to go to fund the cancer research for the kind of cancer that had taken his life. So it was this direct impact of doing good from from media and social media.
Tangible results.
Tangible results, exactly.
Very cool, thank you. So many of us know you as such a distinct, recognizable character. So that's almost a blessing and a curse with your role as Dwight. Can you just talk about how that has sort of led to your platform for SoulPancake and how your audience has sort of helped that from The Office?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I always find the biggest. I kind of made fun of it when I did a Conan O'Brien show one time, that I'll tweet something and the amount of just Office references will just be pages long. So I'll be like, oh, had a nice fish and chips today. And people are like, oh, you didn't have beets? How come you didn't have beets? You know, beet farm. Pictures of beets, Dwight eating beets, Dwight selling beets, just a constant list, like hundreds long about. And the sad thing is that the people think they're being funny. And it's kind of heartbreaking because it's just the most unoriginal thing in the universe to kind of like tweet at someone like, it's just the most obvious thing in the world. So that being said, I love Office fans. I'm so grateful to the Office fans. The fact that this show lives on because of Netflix and has such a huge audience and a young audience is amazing. And as a almost starving actor for the 14 years before I did The Office, what an incredible breakthrough it gave me and opened so many doors, and including the ability to start a company like SoulPancake, which I never would have been able to do without being able to play Dwight Schrute. So I'm so grateful for that. But it's, I just think as I just keep working long enough and people become more familiar with other stuff that I do, other roles that I play, and other things that I write or direct or produce, and they get to know me a little bit more. Oh, Rainn is different than Dwight. Rainn played Dwight, but he's also a different dude, and he doesn't actually live on a farm with Angela, and he doesn't sell paper. That's all in pretend in the imagination. But that being said, I do have a pretty weird, twisted sense of humor. So.
Thank you.
So for many Miami students, especially those who are graduating the spring semester, seniors, it's a stressful time. People are job searching. They maybe have a degree or earning a degree that's very specialized, that has a very set out path for them. And that kind of suggests that maybe they can only be successful if they take that one path. As someone who has deviated from that path, how you were talking about how you were a starving actor and then you spent this time on The Office, but you've since branched out quite a lot. So what do you have to say to those people who might feel already just stuck before they've even really had the opportunity to start a career?
That is an awesome question, truly. Thank you so much for asking it, because as I talk to a lot of young people and meet them, the pressure starts younger and younger, and the amount of anxiety and depression that young people are dealing with these days is just off the charts, and a lot of hopelessness around the future, a lot of pressure being put on them to get into a great college and then to get great, marks at the college so you can get the perfect internship after the college and get the right job after the college. And I understand, I was saying to a group earlier today that when I got out of college, people I knew, you'd get a degree, you could pretty much guarantee getting a job in that degree. If you studied architecture, and got out in the early 90s and interned at a couple of crappy architecture jobs, eventually you could get an architecture job. It doesn't really work that way anymore. It's so much more competitive and in every respect. So I understand the pressure is high, but the thing that I would say is that kind of the most successful people that I've ever met have started what they do and what they love to do a little bit later in life. And that this idea of this pressure of getting the perfect internship and the perfect entry-level job when you're 23, so that you're making $130,000 by the time you're 27, and then you're a millionaire by the time you're 45, like to just let that go. Like it's okay to take your 20s to try a lot of different things. Work in this field, work in that field, do Teach for America, travel the world, read a lot of books, fall in love, volunteer someplace, try new things, commune with nature, take months off. Now, we don't always have the economic luxury to be able to do that, but there's a way to do that on a shoestring. There really is, and that it's all going to work out. It's all going to take care of itself, and you really don't need to really figure out your career till maybe you're 30. So chillax, Miami.
Great to hear. So can you talk to me about the relationship between acting, writing, and directing? Does success in one category lead to success in another? And can you talk about what you think you're naturally best at and what you like doing most?
Another great question, you guys, really smart questions. Yeah, so the only thing I ever wanted to do ever since I was a teenager and I took my first acting class was to be an actor. And that's what I studied so hard, and I went to New York City and studied it and worked with the best directors I could find, and I dug in and just committed myself to a multi-year process of learning that craft of acting. I did a little bit of directing along the way, and now in life, other things interest me other than acting. I really love acting, and I think I will do it for the rest of my life, but I also really like directing, and I like producing and writing as well. And I find all of those things fulfilling. I think I will always be best at acting just because I've put the most years into it. Have you guys heard of the book The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell? That's a terrific book, and it talks about, putting in that 10,000 hours into what you really love to seek a mastery in it. But I would like to do more writing and directing as I get older.
Very cool.
Very cool. So, as you know, more than most, there is a long list of big questions in life. If you had to narrow them down to the biggest big life question, or at least the biggest big life question that as it applies to you in your life, could you do that, and what would it be?
Yeah, the biggest life question, I think, for us is what happens after we die? So everyone in this room, everyone here is going to die at some point.
Shared experience.
It's a shared experience that we all have as human beings. So, but it informs our lives, and that was one of the great lessons of my last days. And so, because if you believe that there's no God, let's say, there's nothing, we're just molecules and we're just animals, we're like kind of monkeys with more advanced brains, and then we die and that's it, our consciousness goes out like a light switch, well then that's going to inform certain life decisions that you make. And if you believe that we're spiritual beings in a meat suit, and we die, and that spiritual part of ourself, what our soul or spirit, whatever you call it, goes on in some capacity, well that informs things as well. So kind of a daily, a weekly, a monthly kind of reminding ourselves of our own mortality can help us gain a very valuable perspective on what's important and what to do next.
I was very curious. It's a good answer.
Thank you so much, Rainn. And that's all the questions from us, but we are now going to open our floor to our amazing media students. So if you guys have a question, just go up here. We have a little mic you can hold and stand at the bottom of the stairs.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I was reading that your favorite role that you've ever played was when you were on Badass, and I'm just curious as to why and how it compared to playing your role of Dwight on The Office.
Yeah, so one of the things I've gotten to do along the way over the last 15 years or so, 18 years, is do a lot of smaller independent films that hardly anyone has seen. And I've done a whole lot of these. And they're really my most favorite thing to do. It's pulling together, making a low budget film. We made this movie Badass in 2002, 2003 for less than $1 million. They had like 70 speaking parts. We shot the whole thing in like 19 days in like 30 different locations. It was crazy. Mario Van Peebles directed it. It was about his dad, Melvin Van Peebles, who started the whole blaxploitation movement in cinema which really helped the Black Power movement and helped with race relations and there wouldn't be, so many great films and so many great African American filmmakers today if we didn't have that movement. And so being a part of telling that story was really exciting for me, because it was a great story. It's a fun thing to watch. It's a fun movie to watch. It's very entertaining, and it also helps make the world a better place by the way that it deals with race in America.
Hello, my name's Nicole, and I'm studying to be a middle school teacher. So I've been working a lot about learning about how to bring kindness into the classroom and create a good environment, cultural awareness, all of that good stuff. And I wondered if you had any advice for that.
Yeah, there's a wonderful series of books and cards called The Virtues Project that was started by some friends of mine. And one of the things we do not teach our children is teaching them about virtues. There's other ways to describe other than a virtue. It's a character trait, leadership trait, character qualities of the heart, but things like patience, kindness, compassion, humility, and other qualities like determination, that we learn that all of these qualities are inside of us. You can view them, some people might view them as divine qualities. Some people might view them as just good, solid character traits that will help you in your life and help you socialize better. But this kind of education is super important as we're raising our children. We don't get it in schools. A lot of parents don't teach it, unfortunately. A lot of churches don't even really teach it in the way that they could be. So teaching virtues, character traits, leadership traits, like the ones that I named, is crucial. And you should check out the Virtues Project. If you just Google it, there's a series of books and cards and exercises, and it's a wonderful tool to be using with elementary and middle school kids.
Hi, my name is Becca. I was just wondering, what is your favorite part about SoulPancake, and why is it so important to you, like as a whole?
My favorite part of SoulPancake are the really loyal SoulPancake watchers and supporters that write in and talk about what a positive impact the videos have made in their lives. And that is, when you read some of these emails and some of the comments under the videos, it is really lifts your heart. People struggling with anxiety or depression or whatever, and this video meant a lot, or videos that they watch every day, that we've created a valuable tool for people, for the upliftment of people and the creation of community around that content.
My name is Marissa. So you touched on the importance of exploring different things in your 20s and not feeling so pressured to know your career path. But it seemed like you made your move from University of Washington to New York. Were there ever times that you experienced doubts during that, or wish that you had explored different things during that time?
Yeah, great question. So my path was different than what I'm advising people. But it was a little different for me because I had a realization early on in my life that I had to be an actor, that there was no other choice, there was nothing else for me to do. There was literally nothing else I could do and be fulfilled, that I had to take this path. And I was about 19 or 20 when I made that realization. So I also realized at the time that the only thing for me to do, if I knew that was what I wanted to do, was get the very best education possible and the very best apprenticeship and life skills all around that, to study with the very best people. It meant going to New York City. It meant doing a deep dive into the world of theater and studying acting. So it was a little different for me because I knew exactly what I needed to do and what I had to do. And No, I don't regret it one bit. There's a lot of things I regret in my life and a lot of poor choices that I've made, but I'm really thankful that I was able to make that path and get a really great education, because all along in my education, I have read books, traveled the world, tried to learn new skills. Even now, I'm taking piano lessons, and I've never studied the piano before. Like, I'm always trying to learn and read new things and have new experiences. So I think that's the important thing.
Hi, I'm Madison. So you're working with some of the most inspirational people. You're working with the questions of life. If you were back at our age, from everything you've learned, what's something you wish someone would have told you?
I think I sold myself short a lot. And I wish that my older self could have gone back in time to myself in my early 20s and said, hey, you have a lot more capacity in you than to just be this actor. Like, you have a lot of skills. I thought of myself when I studied theater, I thought I would go to a theater. I thought I'd go to Cleveland Playhouse and just do roles in the theater and get $600 a week and only be working 6 months out of the year and having to wait tables the other 6 months. And I had a pretty small, even that was pretty ambitious because I didn't know any artists growing up, but it was a pretty small circle to see myself in. And I remember one time when I first moved to Los Angeles, everyone was writing screenplays and TV shows. So I started writing a screenplay or a TV show idea. And I wrote a few pages, 3-4 pages, and started outlining some characters and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, this is dumb. And I threw the book, it was in one of my journals, I threw it in the bottom of a box. And then years later, we moved to a house, and looking through boxes, I found that journal, and I read what I had written in the year 1999, and I read it, 8 years later, and it was really pretty funny. It was pretty good. Why did I sell myself short? Why did I think I didn't have the talent or the ability to also write? And I think we all have that tendency to view ourselves in a much narrower lens, to view ourselves as much smaller than our capability really is. Other than if you have some kind of narcissistic personality disorder, then you view yourself on some grandiose level that isn't really in keeping with reality. But I think we all sell ourselves short in a lot of ways, and to know that we have probably a much larger capacity to achieve things, to affect the world, to express things, to create, to give back than we think that we do.
Hi, my name is Cassidy, and I was wondering, Dwight Schrute is such an iconic character. How does that make you feel knowing that so many people look up to Dwight as a character? And what was your favorite part of The Office that you filmed?
Yeah, I'm so grateful to have gotten to play Dwight, and I really felt like it was the perfect synergy of actor and role, and coming from kind of a white trash family in suburban Seattle. I just knew those people. My ancestors are farmers from the Midwest, and my aunts and uncles lived in trailer parks and drove Trans Ams, and were salesmen, and my dad worked and my uncles worked in a sewer construction business, and I just kind of, but at the same time I was really nerdy and played a lot of D&D and loved Lord of the Rings, and so I just really related to both parts of Dwight, the salesman, the nerd, the kind of strange working class farmer guy. I didn't really relate to the Amishness of it all, but so to be able to play that and then have it resonate, and that audiences have loved the character and he's brought them so much joy, it's fantastic. It's why you do this. It's why I got into, I never thought I would be on a television show or be a TV celebrity or anything like that. I just wanted to be a working actor, but it's really exceeded my expectations, and I'm super grateful. And favorite part of filming The Office was really just the family that we had there in the cast. We all got along so well, and up until the very end, there was a lot of love and just a lot of joy on the set. And I think that is infectious and bled through in the TV show.
My name is Jonathan, and just wondering, what do you like to do in your free time?
I like to party with you, Jonathan. What do I like to do in my free time? So there's a lot of things. I like to take hikes in nature. Sounds like a dating profile. I like to go out for sushi. I play a lot of tennis, actually. I really love tennis. And there's kind of an art and skill to tennis that is just fascinating to me. Like, there's no end of like getting better. And there's a fascinating philosophy of the physics of the ball, and then the racket, and then dropping the racket head, and then brushing up on the ball. You think there's a ball, and like it's like baseball, I gotta hit it, and it'll go that way, but it doesn't, because it's coming in like that. So if you just hit it, it's gonna go like way up in the air, right? So this whole idea of top spin and the physics of it, and there's a beauty, and everything is done in kind of figure eights, almost like Tai Chi. So tennis is like this martial art. And you're not only playing the person, your competitor, you're really playing yourself most of the time. Like to have better and better shots and to be more in the moment. If you try and force anything, it won't work. It's a really beautiful game. And I like to play music. I play drums and guitar and studying piano now, and I like to play music as well. So that's about it.
So my name is Bailey Schleifer, and you said that you played tennis. I happen to play tennis for 4 years in high school, so I just wanted to know if you could pick any celebrity doubles partner, who would it be?
I would have to go with The Rock. He would be so intimidating at the net that we would win every game.
Hi, my name is Trey. I'm a sophomore here studying media and culture. I'm 20 years old, and when you were 20, looking at where you wanted to be in life, can you honestly say at the age you are now that you are aware that you're at the success level that you wanted to be?
Honestly, like I said, my success has far exceeded any expectation that I had, so it's a little bit weird. You know what I mean? I just wanted to be a working actor. I really did. I remember, you know the actor Jeffrey Wright? He's done so much stuff, and he's on Westworld now. African-American actor, very intense. We did a bus and truck Shakespeare tour together when we were in our early 20s. In Midsummer Night's Dream, I was Demetrius and he was Puck. And we finished the tour, we were out for months, and I had like $2,000 in the bank that I had saved, and I was like, oh man, I gotta find another job. This is gonna last me like 3 months. How am I gonna do it? And we picked up our mail back at the offices, and he had done a day on a Harrison Ford movie, and he opened up a check for $3,500, and he was like, "Oh yeah, oh this is awesome," you know. And he was so psyched that he got a residual check for his film that he had done, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm in the wrong business." So I did. I knew I wanted to get into do some TV and film if I was ever going to buy a house. You can't really do that as a theater actor. So, but I never wanted to be a celebrity. I never thought that I'll be a celeb or anything like that. Maybe just be a minor character on a TV show and be able to buy a house. So the fact that all of this stuff has happened is I'm super grateful for. So you never know where your path is going to lead. You know, you got to follow your heart. You got to follow the winds of the universe, wherever they may take you, and great things can happen.
Okay, so everyone in the audience, thank you for all of your questions, and thank you so much for all of the insights that you shared with us.
You guys are excellent young journalists.
Thank you.
Great questions.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you. What a wonderful audience. Thank you so much for coming today. It's been a pleasure and a joy.
Could we get the new Hawks one more time?
Yeah.
One more time.
All right, is everyone going to film this at the same time? How many cameras can we get going? So this is, what are they called, the Red Hawks?
The Red Hawks.
Red Hawks.
Okay, the Miami.
Miami
Red Hawks.
Okay,
All right, you saw
All
it here
right.
first. MTN.
here's your new slogan and symbol, Miami University of Ohio, for your Red Hawks. Ready? Hawk this. Ah! And do it right at someone's eyes. Hawk this. Ah!
Again, thank you so much for being with us today. It has been wonderful, and that's all we've got for you.
That's all we got. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It was such a pleasure.